Carrie?
Yes, indeed. I'll be chatting with Dr. Vanus James, who's a moderator of the Tobago Writers Guild. And we're speaking about good governance in TNT. Good morning.
Morning.
It's great for you to join us once more. And, you know, the Writers Guild does so many of these symposiums and open talks that touch on a number of important topics and, you know, carries the discussion further. And this time it's good governance in TNT. Tell us more.
Well, we're going to have a public conversation, with our public here in Tobago and with guests who will come over from Trinidad about what exactly should we expect when we think of our primary responsibility as citizens, which is to run a good government. We will have a panel of 4 speakers, 4 people to lead the conversation. We'll have a young lady, Latoya Roberts, who is the president of the Tobago Youth Council. So we bring the young people into the conversation. We'll have Dr. Reginald Dumas, who is, of course, a former head of the public service in Trinidad and Tobago. We'll have Dr. Eastlyn McKenzie as our 3rd speaker. She's one of Tobago's most prominent and experienced educators. And then we'll have Dr. Winford James, who the entire public knows to be a public commentator on all matters, including matters of government and politics. We'll begin at 5 o'clock on Thursday evening and run for about 2 hours, thereabouts. And I will moderate the session.
All right. Now, you said that Latoya Roberts will be there to speak, you know, from a youth perspective. What type of input, you know, do you expect from the youth, and how seriously will they be taken? Because oftentimes we've seen where young people are trying to have a voice to speak on certain things, especially when it comes to things like governance and politics and such, but they are not oftentimes taken very seriously. So what is the approach going to be this time?
Well, we'll take her seriously. I had the opportunity to interface with her 2 nights ago on television here in Tobago, and she's quite competent, really, and refreshing. But the future of the country, of course, lies in the hands of the young people. And in the end, they have to rise up and say to the country, this is the kind of nation we want to live in. When I was a young man, that's what my generation did in 1970. And we gave full meaning to good governance in the phrase, power to the people. So we'll really expect the young people to come out on Thursday and to make clear what kind of country they want to live in, what's the governance model they want in Trinidad and Tobago, and especially here in Tobago, and how they expect to monitor and supervise the government that they install. I think I heard her on Monday night, and I think she is quite capable of addressing that. She understands our history very well and was very articulate on matters such as the long tradition of exclusion of our people from routine involvement in the decision-making process. She understands the idea of joint decision-making with the citizen being actively involved in the normal process of oversight of the government. So I would expect a very lively and substantive contribution from her on Thursday.
Definitely. Aside from that, and adding to that, what would you say is the best case scenario for the outcome of these discussions?
Well, what we want to leave the public with is a clear understanding that good governance really means the ability of the population, who are the sovereign in the society, to control the behavior, the actions of the executive. And the public's primary responsibility must be clear to all the people who come to the session and the wider public that listens to the session. We want citizens to know that they have to become more proactive than we have been to date. Here in Tobago, people accuse the public of being apathetic and all of that. In the modern day, we can't afford that kind of stance. We need the public to take the primary responsibility. Don't leave that to the government. The government is our employee. And we have to give it clear directions, not just elect it to office. And so we want the public to come away from the session with a clear understanding of what good governance means. Each of the 4 speakers will clarify what they interpret our governance arrangements to be and our governance problems to be, and what we expect to be the solutions that could be put in place so that there is a more informed public monitoring the activities of government in Tobago. That's the primary goal that we have, to leave the public far more informed than we have been, just following along and allowing the government to do as it pleases.
You know, so as
you
you
know,
say,
there are a lot of momentous changes taking place right here in Tobago with respect to the
Dr. Vanus James, unfortunately,
so,
we're going to have to stick a pin in it right there because we have to go upstairs to the TTT News Center for the news at 7. But thank you for joining us, and we're now going to take a break for the news and come back with the rest of the Now Morning Show after that. Stay with us.